So I'm okay. Maybe it's just where I'm sitting. It's so dark. It's so dark. It's so dark. So dark. It's so dark. All right. So I was trying to stream on my Instagram account at the same time, but I can't get I just can't get it set up. So I'm just not gonna do it. I'm gonna close this down my computer, and then we're gonna talk about your favorite doula. I want to know who is your favorite black doula. I'm probably gonna go find somewhere else to go, but I don't know. Let's see. See if I can find somewhere else. See if I can find somewhere else to go where it's sunnier. Okay, that's a little better, but I forgot something. All right. So I just wanted to know who your favorite black doula is, and I'm gonna put this down for a second because I don't need it yet. But the reason why I want to know this is because, I mean, have you ever heard of a fertility doula? Honestly, really and truly, for a lot of you who are not in the birth community, who are not birth workers, who have not been thinking and dreaming about doing this stuff your whole life, you know, how many of you have heard about fertility doulas, right? And even doula, how many of you have heard about doula, right? It's not really it's not very well known. People barely know about midwives, let alone doulas, right? And barely know the role of a doula, what a doula can and really doesn't do, right? And a lot of people don't know that there are different types of doulas. I myself, I didn't know that there were fertility doulas. I didn't know that there were birth doulas, abortion doulas, postpartum doulas. And you know, they get a little creative and it becomes toddler doula, it becomes babysitter doula. You know, it can go on, right? But I specifically want to talk about fertility doulas. And here's the reason why. Because there is a lot of talk about the black maternal death rate and about the health of the baby, the newborn, and the mother, and so forth, right? But my thing is that, or not even just my thing, it's just, it is what it is that fertility or health of the mother and the baby starts before conception, right? So we kind of cannot just talk about the health and the birth and the death without talking about everything prior to that, everything that goes in prior to that, the preconception, right? The pre-planning and whatnot, you know. And I think that, at least from what I've learned or what I have experienced, is that we were kind of made to believe that pre-planning for your conception, for your pregnancy, was only done by white women, and that if you didn't do it, there was something wrong with you, and there already was something wrong with you, so don't even start thinking about it now, because you shouldn't be having babies in the first place. That was kind of the message that I had received from the healthcare system and so forth, right? So it's no surprise that now we have women dying in the hospitals, women dying after childbirth, right? Because nothing is really being given to them in a positive way to encourage them, right, to look into their fertility, and not even just their, you know, that's a whole nother thing. But nothing is being brought to us in a way to support us on our motherhood journey, fertility journey, you know, parenting journey or anything. It's really negative, and it's really, oh, you don't deserve it anyways, so don't even bother, right? So now we have, you know, fertility doulas, which is probably new for a lot of people, right? But it's still not well known. There's still not a lot of talk about that. So that's why I'm like, you know, if you know a fertility doula, tag them in the comment section, add them in my feed or whatever, right? So that other people can find a fertility doula that maybe is in their area, or that maybe can work with them, that they can resonate with. Because, you know, I really haven't even been considering myself a fertility doula until very recently, because that is, I did not come into this trying to be a doula per se, right? And it's like, now that I'm kind of doing this stuff, it's like, if I'm doing this and I didn't even know about fertility doulas, or that I was considered a fertility doula, just imagine the other people who could benefit from having a fertility doula but don't know anything about a fertility doula, right? So it's like, if you had a fertility doula, that could prevent some of the maternal birth or deaths. That could prevent a lot of the traumas that people are experiencing, that babies are experiencing in the hospital, that mothers are experiencing in the hospital. And there goes the sun again. So it's setting, it is what it is, right? I'm not about to go too far back in here, right? But so there needs to be more awareness that, this thing called fertility doulas exists, and really we should all be fertility doulas, right? And because really what a fertility doula is one who shares information on how to increase your fertility, sustain a healthy pregnancy, right? And how to, you know, bring the body back in harmony, bring the hormones back in balance. Because there's a lot that go, if your hormones are not even in balance, you can kind of forget about fertility, because, or pregnancy, because the fertility hormones, or the reproductive hormones, something crawling on me, the reproductive hormones are not primary hormones. So a lot of the fertility issues that a lot of women are having is because there are other things out of balance with you. And until you resolve those things, you could kind of, fertility is not it's just not primary. It's not forefront and center. You need to make sure that your other hormones are in check, so that your fertility hormones can come into balance with your body, right? Because you cannot have an unstable body during pregnancy. If you cannot get your fertility hormones, your reproductive hormones in check before pregnancy, there's no guarantee that during the pregnancy that you're going to be, fertile enough, that you're going to be in balance, hormonal balance, that you're going to be getting all the nutrients you need, you're going to have the mental stability. So you need to get that thing, knocked out or aligned before the pregnancy. So that's the thing with fertility hormones, is like, people don't really know that, right? So even if you're not trying to have a baby right now, you should be thinking about fertility, because we wouldn't be here without fertility. All of this, all of that back there, that's all fertility. None of this would be here if the right mechanisms in place for fertility was not there, right? So it's very important, that's because fertility itself is health. I think I'm gonna I don't know. Fertility itself is health. I'm seeing some sun. Hold on. Let's see. But then I'm leaving my stuff over there. Nah, I'm not gonna keep doing this. What you saying? But yeah, fertility itself is health. That's why I like being out here to a degree. When it gets a little too buzzing and stuff, that's enough for me, right? But it's it is what it is. So if you know a fertility doula, if you want to be a fertility doula, if you didn't even know that there was such a thing, leave a comment, or hashtag the person if we're on Instagram, because I might clip this and put it on Instagram, and type their name in the comment section, because that's another thing, is that a lot of times women who are dealing with fertility issues, they feel like they're dealing with fertility issues in silence, alone, right? And here I am doing this, and I'm like, well, where are all the other fertility doulas? Because when I type in the sections, in the searches, in the Instagrams, and I'm not seeing them. There's a lot of birth doulas. Shout outs to all the birth doulas. There's a lot of, I think they even have breastfeeding doulas. A lot of full spectrum doulas, but not a lot of fertility doulas that I've been seeing. And I don't know if a lot of the regular doulas are doing fertility information. But I'm starting to think that, it's possible that maybe that's not, and maybe that's something that could be added, right? Because again, I'm not here trying to hog the spot or anything like that. I did get contacted by a doula the other day, and I was like, "You're having fertility issues?" Because for me, I just thought that, you know, I don't know why I did that, but I kind of was inclined to think that that any type of birth worker was familiar with fertility methods, natural fertility methods, and how to boost and increase their own fertility. But I was wrong. And it was kind of silly because I'm like, okay, well, that's as though to say that a fertility doula is 100% or completely knowledgeable in all the areas of birth, and it's just not necessarily true, right? So there's nothing wrong with that. So that's why I'm saying to tag a fertility doula, right? Because I think last week was even National Doula Week. It could still be going on. I don't know. But hey, include the fertility doulas in that as well. And there's one more thing I want to say, which is another reason why I guess I want the fertility doulas to see this video, is that I noticed with the National Birth Week that there was some protests going on, where a lot of doulas were sort of protesting for the government, and it may not be like a whole national protest they were doing, but like it could have been just in their city. But they were protesting for the government to fund doulas, like for the doulas to receive funding from state or federal, whatever government. The thing I have with that is that we've seen with midwives how midwifery went from like an openly practiced thing where this was something that was passed on from mother to daughter, grandmother to daughter, or grandmother to granddaughter, and then it became something where that was outlawed, right? It became something that was outlawed. They decided that, you know what, they're going to make it illegal for a black woman mainly to practice midwifery in order to get you to go into their hospitals, in order for us to be in the situation that we have today where women are dying on their tables, right? What do you think is going to happen with registered doulas, with these, with doulas receiving money from the government? Do you not think that they're going to tell you what you can and can't do, even more, right? That they're going to restrict you, that they're going to require you to, hand your soul over to them and whoever else is that you come across with, right? I get that it may take a lot for doulas to make a living wage, right? The sign that I said in the sign that I saw in one of these protests is said that doulas are required to make 55 births, or to help 55 clients per month in order to make a living wage. So kind of for me, what that kind of translated to was that for a doula to make a living wage each month, that she needed to help 55 women at $1,000 at least, to make $5,500 so she could pay her rent, pay all those bills, and have extra money, to feel decent, to feel secure. But even if it was at $500 to bring her to $2,000 or $3,000, whatever the case is, I think that like we kind of need to be more creative than begging the government in any situation. It doesn't matter whether you're trying to be a doula, whether you are trying to be a black-owned business, whether you are trying to homeschool, whatever the case may be. I don't support begging the government for all these things to take over, to come into your life, and then to tell you, because they're going to do it. They're not just going to be like, okay, we're going to subsidize doulas. Do you not think that these same doctors who don't want you in the hospital, who don't want you in the birth room, do you not think that these same doctors are going to lobby the government to give you this extra subsidization with penalties, or with strings attached? So that's my take on that. So I think it's better if doulas come together, create more opportunities for each other, create resources amongst themselves, share what is working, what is not working, and do more. Definitely, of course, I give, like, there's so much outreach that I see doulas are doing. So I can't even say do more outreach because it's being done, right? But I think we need to stay on the creative side, because that gets you, it gets you in their pockets. It gets you lazy, right? So I don't know, maybe you could see some of what I've been doing or whatever the case is, let them know, as opposed to going that route. So again, I'm going to keep this video short because I'm only trying to do 15-minute videos or less. And so yeah, tag a doula. Let me see, there's no more light out here, so it's like, it's Black Fertility today. Okay, this is what you got. Right, so tag a doula so she can see this video, so we can see the other fertility doulas. Not, please don't just tag any doula. I kind of want to just keep it to just fertility doulas, just to highlight that for this video, right? And also, as you may know from my Instagram account, I am doing 15-minute fertility strategy sessions. So if you want one, then definitely book an appointment with me, so that way I can help you to create a fertility plan that you can implement over the next 30 to 90 days to boost your fertility naturally, because it can be done, right? And so that's all I'm going to say for this video. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube account, go over and follow me on Black Fertility on Instagram, Twitter, and all the other, I'm even on Pinterest now. So definitely do all of that. And thank you for watching. Thank you for the 2 people who have stayed here. I noticed you all have not commented and said anything. Please comment the 2 fertility doulas that you know, so that other people can network with them and we can know that they exist. All right, so that's the end of this video. Peace.